Big fire. Yo. This is the titanium 65 amp plasma cutter from Harbor Freight. I normally run a old Cut 50, which has been so good. You know, there it is, looking good with like a modified torch, and we just beat the ever-loving snot out of it. It's been solid, but been getting into some heavier steel projects. Supposedly it can cut, or at least sever, 1 3/16", which is kind of mind-boggling. 1 3/16" on the box can sever clean cut up to 1 inch. And it just so happens we have something here that we need to get done that is like almost exactly 1 inch. So I figured I'd do like a little like overview of this thing and actually do a project, because I gotta get that done. I'm gonna make some that those are bucket ears for an excavator, and this is a harvester head, harvester processor, an old one. We got to make bucket ears for it anyway, and you can pre-buy them for my particular machine, a Cat 308 with 50mm pins that have already been made, but those are like $600-700 on eBay. I got this for $800 or $900 using the Harbor Freight member thing. So I figured, you know, we'll just make it. Now, hey, got a good little delay. Post flow is still going. And if we can adjust into that, where I still post flow, oh, that's gonna eat up a lot of air. My little rinky dink compressor running like a husky, quiet 2 gallon, 5 gallon. Going through the book here, it's recommending a compressor that can supply 4.2 CFM. So that's substantial. That's way more than I got, but we'll see how we can do. I've made do for years with the little guy. It ain't a pancake compressor though, it's like a pretty nice little one. So I'm just gonna go for it, and I think we'll get right to just going ahead and maxing it out. And I'm not gonna bother cleaning the ground, I never really do, and we gotta cut this off. So welcome aboard. Plasma cutter is maxed out 65 amps. The fan's not currently running, which is kind of odd, but see what happens. We're grounded. Got no air dryer or anything, and a tiny little compressor. We're about to try to cut through 1 inch steel. Let's see how it goes. Going. Sticking a little. There we go. Nice. That's the real deal then right there. My poor little compressor. I'm just going to take my time. Post flow is very, very, very long. I don't think there's any adjustment for that, but you know, I guess it will save tips, and maybe this will force me to finally buy the right compressor. A little compressor, I'm getting 2 inches at a time. Like this is ridiculous. Look at that. Yo, that's some serious cutting. Nice. Okay, so I am running the pressure too much now. Because it's shutting itself off, indicating we're using too much air pressure. So I'm gonna back it back down a little, see if that does it. Yeah, it ain't going through. So we got a borrowed air compressor to see if we can get this guy to cut this 1-inch steel. It looks like the thing works great with my current setup with the little Husky compressor, the silent one, up to 3/8 1/2 inch maybe. But once we start getting into this serious 1-inch thick stuff, we need a better air curve. We were having to run the compressor too high a PSI to keep the air up enough so this wouldn't trip from over air pressure, and then very much too quickly we would run out of air and then it would quit cutting through the 1-inch. So we had too limited of time of cutting with the smaller setup. But this is 1.6 horse 30-gallon oiled compressor. I'd say it'd be like equivalent to the new Harbor Freight Fortress one or the Cobalt 26. Yeah, 1.6 horsepower, and it's oiled, so it's probably a little torqueier. 5.3 CFM constant, which should be enough for this machine. But what I want to do is regulate this to... The machine recommends 110 PSI as a max, so we'll start there. But I want to see what loss we're getting. Okay, so we're actually... I want it to run at 110 when it's... Of course, this is a lot. So that should keep it in the region we need better, I think. You can see the water in the air maybe there. So no air dryer yet, but we're just testing in a way. But I also want to complete this project. Brand new tip. Like 120 PSI roughly. And nice clean piece of steel ish. That ain't going. Come on. Oh, just started. There we go. Yep, still going through. Yeah, we're in the metal now. I'm not dragging it. I'm just like a 1/16 off of the metal right now. I don't really dare touch it. Yeah, it's thick. Still punching through. Seeing movement. This little, yeah, that's the other thing about this. This is welded, a welded seam, so it's not fully all the way through. Maybe it would perform a bit better if it was pure steel the whole way. So thought it might be nice to know the 110 capabilities of this thing. We know it can cut 3/8 on 220. We know it can cut 1 inch on 220. Let's see if it can cut 3/8 on 110. Oh. Well, that's good to know. This is not the best adapter here. So if you buy this, you either need to adapt to that weird 110, or you need a NEMA 652, whatever this thing is. Mingshang MS006. It's a pain. It's no good, Harbor Freight. Come on. I think I actually have one laying around here. So this is a NEMA 6-52 regular 110. These are just available on Amazon somewhere. Fired up. We're gonna do this with the standoff because I feel like this is saving on these nozzles. They're a little hard to find right now because the machine's so new. Like, I tried buying a pack that said 65, but they didn't. Looks like the O-rings might be the same, and this was different but did fit. See how much smaller it is? Yeah. So it looks like 21 amps is all it wants to run on 110. Let's see if that will do 3/8. Or 40. A little over 3/8. Well, that's pushing 1/2 inch actually. At 20 amps. Looks like no luck at 0.4 of an inch. Go grab another piece of steel here, see? This is 1/4 inch. Maybe you're looking to like get a machine you can grow into and you haven't got your 220 plug installed yet, or let's see if it's worth spending a little extra money on this nicer machine. So 110, 1/4 inch, I don't know. It's like, take your time, might be able to sever it. There we go. Yeah, it's going through without the standoff. That's 1/4 inch 110. So I would call that, you know, not really a clean cut, but it can get the job done. Yeah. That's about 1/8. Lost my ground. There we go. That's pretty clean cut actually. Remember, not a brand new tip. Very real world here. Popped a breaker. That's 20 amp. Let's just double check that's not 20 amp. Yeah. I guess the compressor was running too at the same time. That was asking a lot of that little 20 amp breaker. You know, that's the kind of performance you can expect out of it. I think any plasma cutter on 110, 1/8 inch and down, no problem. Gauge or 11 gauge or 12 gauge steel. This is probably going to be a dream for 110. I'm just going to drag the tip. Rusty and crummy. Oh, that's nice. It's not sticking. Nice and smooth. My travel speed needs to be slowed down a little bit, but so like 1/8 inch, and let's try dragging this 1/8 here without the standoff. Get it started, get it to blow through. Okay, I'm dragging it on 1/8. Very good. So that's 110 performance. Let's switch over to 220 and see the performance difference. Maxed out 21 amps, so let's just take it up to 42 or something. Let's try that, see how it goes. Same tip, 220, 42 amps. Almost a little hot. That's a heck of a lot better. A clean cut. We got some super thin 1 millimeter or 0.04 steel. I'm on 240 right now. I think we'll just pop it up, amperage up a tad. Let's see how it performs for like this kind of stuff, super thin. I'm just straight dragging the tip. Yeah, it's working fine. So I just got to blast a few more holes in this bottom of the harvester head for access before it goes back down the woods. I'm going to do one. The saw is about right here, so I want one like in this region. I was fooling around with it with the earlier with these aftermarket tips I got, no luck. But we're just going to put it at like 50. And I get to cutting. Big fire. A lot of oil and stuff and sawdust in there. This is like butter, man. Yeah, I'd say this thing's all right. Everything looks okay in there. Kinda. So setup looks pretty good. It came with the fitting pre-installed. It fits kind of crazy. It just fit right on the fittings I had. I was expecting to have to go buy something, but the Type D ones. Tractor Supply. Got these Tractor Supply a long time ago, but 1/4 inch body, 1/4 inch MPT. Not quite sure how these things work. There's language for everything, but it does fit this Type D on there. And with plasma torches, like the torches or the machine's really important, but the torch is kind of everything. And this IPT65 seems like available online, multiple places. To me, it has this like drag, this tip guard here. But we'll test today if we can just straight drag it like one of the very expensive plasma cutters. I drag the Cut 50 with no special tip, and it lasts quite a while. Not sure how this will behave cutting into 1 inch steel, but yeah, pretty good torch. Feels nice. This trigger guard also is indicating me it's probably high frequency start. Came with some tips, which I did find these tips on Amazon or anywhere online. Just punch in IPT65 torch tips. You can get like all these parts. Real quick here, we'll just see how easy this is to change out the consumables. Yeah, so you'll probably want to grab a couple extra of these O-rings, maybe one of those. And then these are the, well, they're only they're one direction tips, so the Cut 50 has, you could use either side, I think, or at least that's how I use it. And then I did see these out there too. You'll burn through them pretty quick, but I bet we can probably get through this project of cutting what we need with these that came with it. Ground clamp. Not sure if that's like a dense something. It's pretty small. Dense 25 or dense 25, whatever the heck they call those. Let's change that to 8.8 millimeters or 0.34 inches. And yeah, this is 240, 120. Maybe we'll fool around with how it does on 120. A little detent. Hook that up. And our ground. Oh, probably a 8-foot ground clamp, roughly. And this guy, the torch itself, is pretty long. Nice. Yeah, that gets us out there maybe 12 feet, roughly. 10 to 12. I figure while we're here, I'll give you the dimensions of the thing. If you were to put it in a cabinet or something, looks like 18 1/4. Yep, 18 1/4 with everything unplugged. I'm talking 27 if you decide you don't want to unscrew that every time you put it in something. And width at the widest is like 9 1/4. Height 14 to the top of the handle. Let's plug it in. Plug is called a NEMA 6-50. It's very common in the welding world. And this is a NEMA 6-50 to 110 adapter. Came with it. That's great. here we go. And as I said, this pops right into there. As far as air adjustment, not too sure. And there's your switch to turn it on. In the back here is a breaker. Okay, we're live. Blew the torch out pretty good. There goes the tip. And, oh wow, broke the ceramic too. Okay. So, conclusion on the plasma cutter here. I'm going to keep it. It does the job. I still feel it's better value than even a used Hypertherm, even though there's no drag tips available for it yet. You could still kind of drag. That was a big question I had. Seemed to perform really good, but some notes are you can't screw around like you can with the Cut 50. You need a real compressor. Air dryer would be awesome, but we're doing okay. It was cutting with that water in there. 21 amps on 110, and that cut 1/8 inch fine, severed 1/4 inch. Did great on sheet metal. So good on 110 up to 1/8 inch, can sever 1/4 inch. And it definitely cut through that 1 inch and it's in change up there with the right, brand new tip. Heck, I think it did it even with a used tip, but it's just, what I'm getting at is to get that kind of performance, you're going to have a good setup, good compressor, air dryer. Don't screw around if you're going to buy this thing. Unless you plan on like upgrading and just running on 110/8 is fine for you for now. And we have the high frequency start, which is great. It's got the pin connector for an arc droid or any CNC plasma table, as far as I could tell. Ground's good. Torch is awesome. It's a keeper.